What about you, ma'am? I see that around this park, a lot of people are kind of living their life, just like a lot of people are living their life everywhere. They think that, the U.S. government, the CIA, the Homeland Security is out to protect them, yet they're basically trying to give a man a death sentence simply for exposing, war crimes. What are your thoughts on kind of the cognitive dissonance of the general population?
Just from standing here and talking to a few passerbys, people who pass by, I can see how unaware people are. And someone even said, "Who's Julian Assange?" So it's a lot worse than I even thought. People really don't know who he is and what he's done and what he sacrificed in his life to let people know. There used to be a rogue nation or two, but now just about the whole world is one big rogue nation. These countries can do whatever they want, can violate our privacy, they can murder journalists at will, and nobody's responsible, nobody's held accountable. And when truth tellers like Julian Assange, Chelsea Manning, Snowden reveal these things, they get persecuted. And it's not...
Now, not to interrupt you, but Glenn Greenwald is now being persecuted in Brazil for revealing basically private documents that show the former president of Brazil's, Lula's prosecution was basically just totally contrived. The current Brazilian government is now trying to essentially punish him for doing journalism.
Yes, every journalist is going to take their turn at being silenced. And, one of the reasons we're here is we call on journalists throughout this country, in particular in the United States. There's a blackout, a silence. Maybe people are afraid. Journalists need to come out and speak in support of Julian. It's very important. And that's not really happening too much. And they're going to be next. We're also here to make people understand about the lies and the smears that various governments and sinister groups have tried to perpetrate against Julian, call him a rapist, which he's not. Those were all lies. Those were trumped up charges.
He's never formally been charged with rape.
No, and even the women, and people here in this country should know that even the women said that they were railroaded, that the police forced them to make statements that weren't true. And those women also bragged that they were with Julian intimately. So he is being, in the same way that Scott Ritter was smeared when he tried to unmask that there were no weapons of mass destruction, back in the Bush days, it's the same thing with Julian Assange. They're smearing his character, calling him arrogant. And even on the left, they're saying whether you like Julian Assange or not, or what you think about him or not. This tone, this characterization of him as some bad person, so that it's actually seeped into the American consciousness that he is a bad person, and he's not a bad person. He's a good person who doesn't want us to live lives of secrecy or have our privacy invaded.
There's also this McCarthyism, trying to paint him as a part of the Russian government or an arm of the Russian government, where there was never any evidence provided that he got any information from Russia. And he himself has very vehemently said, my source wasn't the Russian government, but because we live in a country that basically, since after World War II, maybe it started, Russia, boogeyman, that is a big reason why people have turned to people who previously cheered when WikiLeaks released things that harmed Republican presidents, now are against WikiLeaks because they think it hurt Hillary Clinton.
Yes, communism is another way to try to smear people, just like they tried to smear Paul Robeson. Whether people are a member of the Communist Party or not, and whether they think it's a good thing or not, the U.S. government thinks that's a way to smear people by making them think that they are friends of Russia. But that's just one of the many lies and smear campaigns that they've tried to level against Julian Assange to get the American public, because very often the court of public opinion is what's going to determine somebody's guilt or innocence. that's what they're trying to do, to establish that he's some evil person. He didn't hack anything. He didn't, what's the word I'm looking for? He didn't conspire with Chelsea Manning to get any passwords or code words. He just downloaded what whistleblowers gave him. He was a journalist who was downloading information, and in particular, I think the U.S. government is really angry about that video that people could download from WikiLeaks and see that the United States murdered journalism and that the military men laughed about it.
Collateral damage video, yeah.
Yeah, murdered children and innocent people, not military people, and laughed about it. And when this was shown to the world, I think Julian may have thought that the world was going to react in a very angry way, but a lot of the world didn't react at all. And that says something about why people aren't here or why journalists aren't speaking out, because I think people are so numb and so immune to all the nasty, dirty little things that the U.S. government has done that maybe people have lost hope. I don't know. But people need to come out. This is really important, and I hope you'll join us at the next upcoming support rallies for Julian.
We should also add that Chelsea Manning is still in solitary confinement. This is now the second time she's been put in jail. Obviously, she was in jail for many years, and they're doing this as a way to get to Julian Assange. And
these people are only to be respected and honored, as they're far more trustworthy than some of the most sinister governments and corporate media and the people who run the world behind the scenes in the shadows. These people are honorable and should be supported.
hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.